We going into the good news and the bad news.
Give it to me early.
All right, I call this one, this is the good news. You scratch a lie, find a thief. Now, could the coronavirus pandemic been avoided? Probably not. But as the old saying goes, have your 5 P's in order. And that's prior, planning, prevent, poor performance. And that's exactly why our former president, Barack Obama, had a 69-page playbook ready. And he handed it off to his successor, Donald Trump. But some politicians try to refute that claim. One being Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who basically was voted 5 times. He was elected in. Now, he was interviewed in a live statement event, and he blatantly said the Obama administration did not leave Trump any kind of game plan for something like this. So Obama's administration clapped back, and they said, we literally left them a 69-page pandemic playbook that they ignored. And we had an office called the Pandemic Preparedness Office that they abolished. We also had a global monitoring system called Predict that they cut by 75%, said Ronald Klain. He's the former Vice President Joe Biden's chief of staff. So, in the infamous paraphrase words of the late Malcolm X, chickens coming home to roost. In other words, face your lies. And he did. So in another interview on Fox, McConnell recounted his words and said, I was wrong. They did leave a plan behind. So I clearly made a mistake in that regard. You think? So some reports show that when Obama's officials conducted a pandemic training exercise with the Trump administration, it was described that some of Trump's admins were dismissive, and they said that even Secretary Wilbur Ross fell asleep during the training, which he also denies that claim. So we couldn't prevent the pandemic, but we could have had better planning based on what the Obama's administration left in place. A 69-page playbook, and
yes,
you can read it.
Obama had his receipts.
Yes, he did.
He had his receipts, and I'm just kind of just very annoyed with a lot of stuff that's going on social media. All the trolls are out. And unfortunately, number 45 is one of the biggest trolls on Twitter. He spent his whole Mother's Day with, what did they say? I think he unleashed 23 tweets where he was just saying a whole bunch of different stuff. And then Mitch McConnell, you mentioned him. So whenever he wants to say something about Obama, how Obama, when he talked about the
not having
Trump administration of the handling of the pandemic, when he said it was a chaotic disaster, Mitch want to say, oh, well, Obama needs to stop talking about other presidents. He had his turn. How many times during Trump's presidency has he mentioned Obama?
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody's taking count. I'm glad he had those receipts though.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, he had to face his truth. The lie that he told, he had to say, hey, I did say it, but he said it so, it's almost like he shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say is at least he said that he said it, because I'm telling you, your boy Donald out there, Donnie, your boy Donnie will sit there and say, no, that's still a lie. I don't know where that came from. That's still a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So he did at least he recounted his position and said, yeah, I was wrong. That's all we asked for. That's all.
Yeah.
The Teflon Don.
There you go.
Well, what they tell you, scratch a lie, find a thief.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, here we go again with some bad news. All right. The bad news is, I call this one another Black woman dead. Now, as you heard in the good news segment, we've learned that you tell one lie and all your truths become questionable. So now we're questioning the Louisville Police Department. Back on March 13th, a 26-year-old emergency medical technician named Breonna Taylor, an essential worker who saved lives and aspired to be a registered nurse, was asleep in her very own apartment when Louisville police took a battering ram and pulverized through her front door. Taylor and her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, were in the bedroom asleep. When Walker, her boyfriend, heard what sounded like a break-in and no announcement, he immediately, in self-defense, to protect himself and Breonna, grabbed for his legal and registered gun and began to shoot, striking one officer in the knee. The officers fired back with 22 rounds that also ricocheted in other apartments. Taylor was hit approximately 8 times, which killed her. Records confirm that Walker, the boyfriend, did dial 911, but it's not clear if the call was made before or after the shots were fired. Now, the Louisville Police Department did show that they had a warrant for Taylor's address and approached it with a no-knock search warrant, which means that police do not have to announce themselves when serving the warrant. The twist to this story is that the police department states that they received confidential informant tips that drugs were being purchased and sold out of this apartment. Now, in the warrant, the confidential informant must have been the Louisville postmaster, who has gone on record to say that he never made those claims and that the police department is making it up. In essence, the police had the wrong person and the wrong address. The person that the police were looking for was already in police custody, and he lived 10 miles the other way. Unfortunately, there were no body cams to record the timeline of events, and the Louisville Police Department did not want to make any open statement at this time. So the police have filed charges against Walker for attempted murder of a police officer. Taylor's case received national attention after being seen on the prominent activist Shaun King's social page, and this comes amid the Ahmaud Arbery case, which prominent civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who represented Ahmaud Arbery and Trayvon Martin, will now represent Breonna Taylor's family.
Unfreaking believable.
That's crazy.
Unfreaking believable, man. Wrong house, huh?
Wrong house.
Wrong person.
Wrong person. They had the person in custody.
Wrong information.
And they still locked up her boyfriend for self-defense.
Unbelievable.
He's now been released on bail, but they're trying to charge him with attempted murder.
Unbelievable. That's such a slap in the face.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's her boyfriend right there in custody, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
and not only does he have to deal with the death of his girlfriend, he has to fight these charges also.
Yeah, which is why I don't know if it's pro bono or not, but this is why Ben Crump, who represents Ahmaud Arbery and Trayvon Martin, is taking these type of cases and, defending these type of families, because they know that they can't afford it, and the justice system isn't so justice.
Right.
Unbelievable.
It's just unbelievable, and I'm just so tired of hearing these types of stories. It's just such a tragedy.
Now they're saying that the postmaster is the informant that told them about the address and the person that, drugs were going to that house. And then the postmaster went on record to say that they're making this up.
I can believe that.
Of course they'll say that. Of course, the thing is, for me is, they have to protect themselves, right? And although they may be in support of the police, the postmaster going to be like, wait, don't try to soil our name. Like, y'all don't put no words in our mouth. We didn't do that. No, y'all did that. Like, y'all claim that. And the problem is that you have a lot of, the departments, a lot of the police departments start to make people feel intimidated. So they can't even speak up, or they feel intimidated to speak up because they're like, oh my goodness, we're going to have to worry about either being pulled over by the cops and being targeted by the cops. And, it's just one of those things. But in the same breath, you have the police saying that, you're supposed to snitch and you're supposed to tell people, you're supposed to, turn in, that crooked person. But what about police officers that know their fellow police are crooked?
Right.
What is your responsibility to do when it comes to understanding and knowing that something is wrong and crooked?
They stick to the code
for that.
Yeah. And the other part I left out, I did mention that they let 22 rounds of ammunition go. This was an apartment complex where other people in the other apartment, there was one pregnant woman with her 5-year-old child, and the bullets went through the bedroom wall. So other people could have, had that fatal shot as well. It wasn't just that house that the bullets, disrupted.
Unbelievable.
Right. And who would they have to blame on that?
Yeah, so that's why
the guy they started shooting because he shot at them first. And they probably would put that on him too.
He made a call during when they came in, because they didn't make the announcement, but they're saying that, they have the no-knock search warrant, which they don't have to alert the people that they're coming to arrest. And that's because they don't want people to flee or to retaliate. But you go in there and somebody thinks you're breaking in, the first thing you're going to do with your registered legal gun is defend yourself and your loved ones, which he did.
Absolutely.
So now he's being charged with attempted murder of a police officer.
Which is crazy, because how did you break in? Because understand, you broke in somebody's house if you have the wrong house. If you have the wrong house and no warrant to go into another place, right?
Well, that's the thing. They had the right address. They had 2 warrants, but the warrant was because they're saying that the postmaster said this was the said address, and then they had another warrant that was 10 miles the other way, and the police said that the guy that they wanted was already in custody. So now they're trying to put the blame on the postmaster.
Goodness gracious, this is just a big cluster. It's just this is a mess, man. And I send the prayers go out to
their family.
To their family, man.
She was an EMT. She was 26. She her aunt spoke very highly of her, and she was the glue that held their family together. And her life is gone, senseless, because she was sleeping in her own bed.
Wow.
In her own home.
In her own home.
And her boyfriend was trying to protect her and him.
Similar to the Tatiana or the other young man with the police officer going into the wrong house.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But why do they have to look like us? Why do they have to be the Black and brown community? I don't hear too many stories of other ethnicities or races going through that same mistake or error. I don't hear those.
There you go.
That was your good news and your bad news from Classy Lady Sparkle.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Lauren Sizzle
and Classy Lady Sparkle.
And have you subscribed to our channel yet?
If the answer is no, you need to subscribe now.
Yeah, so stop what you're doing. Go right now and subscribe. We like you. You like us. So go ahead and subscribe.
Come on over. Be a part of the family of We Talk Weekly and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
So what are you waiting for? Subscribe
now.